So welcome everybody. My name is Shweta Parmar. I am an Ayurvedic practitioner at Guts Your Living and co-creatrix at Ghee. For those who you don't know, not sure, Nakul, if you can screen share this thing. So for those of you who don't know, Ghee is a very unique ghee that exists, that is created and made in an eco ashram in Gujarat, India, according to traditional method. So as many of you may know, oftentimes, and sadly, actually, ghee is often taught to be made from unsalted butter, and that's actually very common, and even in Ayurvedic circles and schools here. And when we launched at Nama, we were shocked to learn that so many of the Ayurvedic practitioners, students, yoga practitioners did not know that there was a traditional way of making ghee that is outlined in our Shastras. So one of the key reasons of why Ghee exists is to honor and share practically the medicinal properties of ghee that is made according to the Shastras and from the Desi Gir cow breed. So as many of you know, the Desi Gir cow breed has very unique properties than other cow breeds. So the milk from the Gir cow breed has a lot of medicinal properties due to Surya Ketu Nadi and just the features of it. So, with this, we won't go into it, the details today, because we don't want to take time away from Dr. Sarita's presentation, but you can find a lot of that information on our website at www.mahaghee.com. And so again, welcome everybody. If you will, those who are just joining us, feel free to chat into the box. Where are you from? What brings you here today? And before further ado, I would love to introduce Dr. Sarita. Dr. Sarita, thank you so much for being with us today. It is quite the rare opportunity to always learn from you as a amazing, wise elder in our Ayurvedic community, and teacher and doctor and clinician, whichever, Devi Ma yourself in different ways to so many in the form of the body. You've always been a guiding light for so many Ayurvedic students here in the US, as that's all I can speak to here, but of course in all parts of the world. So thank you so much for being here with us. And Dr. Sarita, her bio is quite long in various ways. So we won't kind of go all deep into it, but she is an OBGYN, which is an amazing focus that we need, I think, in Ayurveda, and especially in women's health. As women, gendered women, but also the holder of creative energies, it is quite very important, the work that and focus that you have for women's health. So thank you so much for doing what you have been doing for decades, for all your patients and for students all around the world. So thank you so much. Dr. Sarita, I would love for you to say a little bit more about your work, and just, beyond the traditional bio, which are quite boring, in the mainstream way of legs identifications, etc. But, just as a quick bio, what propelled you, before we dive into your presentation, what inspired you and what led you to become an Ayurvedic doctor and specializing in the field of OBGYN?
That's very interesting and often asked questions to me. Thank you, Sweta. Thank you, Nakul. Before I forget, let me thank you all, especially the Mahagi team organizing this talk program, and also everyone who is attending today. Uh, being even in this, like it is late. I know it is late over there, but you still took time to participate. So thank you, everybody, and namaste, everyone.
Well, it's late for some people, but it's also very early for you. So thank you for being with us. So yeah.
So yeah, I was kind of Ayurveda has never been my like a real focus when I was growing up, because I didn't know about it. In the meaning, I don't know means like the name of Ayurveda, but we were practicing Ayurveda knowingly, unknowingly in our day-to-day life, like so we were being checked by Vaidyas and say, oh, your Vata is up, your Pitta is up, your Kapha, but we didn't know that was Ayurveda. So I was very much in music. So that was my passion. And I was thinking of going for the music, like as my career. But somehow the whole thing turned. I saw an advertisement in a paper, like daily newspaper, about calling for the Ayurveda program. So just curiosity took me over there. And the most interesting thing, I think, if I would not have faced this thing, maybe I would not be an Ayurveda practitioner. So when I went for applying in the college, the principal said me, "Oh, women don't study over here. They cannot." For a few reasons. The first reason is in Sanskrit. Second reason, you have to also study English. And third and fourth is math and science. So it's very difficult. You cannot. All women who admitted, they dropped finally. So you are also going to drop. So better don't join. So I think that was a challenge to me, which made me kind of, like, now I have to do it. So the journey started as a certification, and then and like so throughout the criteria, I also wanted to get the scholarship, not to be bothering for the financially to my parents. So I got the scholarship throughout, and then I went for Colombo plan, so the Commonwealth scholarship, and then I did a MD in BHU. So I was kind of leaded like that, and I will say it is my destiny. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing some of that, your personal path, and to share what you'll be sharing with us today. So for those of you who are just joining us, so just the way that we're going to these knowledge circles, we call them the Glory of Ghee knowledge circles, as a way for us to share deeper knowledge around ghee. As we all know, ghee is often just seen as this superfood that's unfortunately, just everyone uses it in a lot of unconscious ways at times. And so these circles are created where we have the various Vedas and other experts come and share their lived experiences and their personal as well as clinical practices to share deeper knowledge around ghee. And so the format of these kind of these conversations, it is it's more informal. So, Dr. Sarita does have a presentation for us today. So she will be sharing that with us. So she would like that we hold off all questions towards the end of her presentation, so it doesn't disrupt her flow. But you are welcome to feel free to chat your questions or comments into the chat box. Just don't unmute yourself in the middle of her presentation. So, these spaces are created to unlearn and to question our own thinking and understanding of Ayurvedic concepts and Ayurvedic concepts and around anything you may know about Ghee or whatever the expert or the practitioner is sharing. So we hope that, you leave this space to rethink things that you maybe your understanding of Ayurveda, and then also most importantly, how you apply it into your day-to-day. So thank you, Dr. Sarita. I'm not, if you want to share screen your presentation and give maybe a little bit of a context of what you'll be sharing with us today.
Okay, thank you. First, let me share the screen and then. Okay, so everybody can see it, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, you're good.
Okay, thank you. Before I start, I really once again, say hello to everybody and say namaste to everyone. And when Shweta talked about these topics, it's like, okay, I never thought about this can be also a topics, So, in life, we always learn, so to me, this presentation is also a learning because that's how, I explored and I learned more. And then I, churn it with my experiences, and I'm bringing you to all what I feel, so this is like my feeling and experiences that is as an outcome. Okay, so I started the beginning of slide with the yagya, and you can see the ghee over there, because this is the real meaning of ghee. Ghee is such a sacred food beside all other, there are so many things we will be talking about. And I got a very good thing about ghee is, this is I borrowed it from the journal of the light on Ayurveda. I think now it is not there now anymore, but it was there. Over here they have quoted about Rig Veda, and then this is the secret name of ghee, the tongue of the god, navel of the immortality. We will proclaim the name of ghee, will sustain it in sacrifice by bowing low. These waves of ghee flow like gazelles before the hunter. Streams of ghee cares the burning wood. Agni, the fire, loves them and it's satisfied. And is satisfied. So it's from Rig Veda. So this tells that ghee has such a history from the Vedic time. And Rig Veda, we all know, one of the oldest Veda, and it talks so highly about, and then it is one of the essential item of the yagya. So we are going to talk about womanhood, so grace of ghee in womanhood, Shweta, you have said about navigation. So I just, and that is like a hidden part is there, okay? And now AyurGhritam, this is some from the ancient, like the scripture. It is said that AyurGhritam, what we need to say more than that, ghee is life. Means ghee is such a nutritional food. Ghee is such a nutritional medicine, and ghee is also a vehicle. That is how it is used in Ayurveda. But in the scriptures, and it is said that ghee is life. So what else we need to learn about that when we say ghee is life, right? So according to the Vedic analogy, he is said that hidden in milk, and that's what, it is the essence, right? And divine Lord in creation. So it is an essence and nectar from milk. That's why it is also called golden nectar. So every single molecule of ghee is sattvic, and this is one of the most sattvic food which unfolds consciousness, the path to spirituality. And it's also called the first and most essential of the all food. So it is one of the main, essential items uh, of the Vedic culture. And so we see it is, sorry, I'm blowing my nose, I have a cold. So the word itself, the ghee, the word itself is, itself comes from the Ghee, and that is, again, when we sprinkle ghee on fire, it, it gives a blaze, and that is like a golden color. That's why it is considered as a, like a gold, considered as a golden also. And it is, it is said that, gold is said to attract women towards it, but golden ghee by wise. So again, पुष्पे गंधम तिले तैलम कास्याग्नि पयसीघृतम इच्छौ गुदम तथा देहे पश्चात्मानम विवेकता. It is so interesting, like the fragrance in flower, like the oil in sesame, and fire in wood, and sweetness or, like a jaggery in sugarcane. The ghee is there in the milk. So that is means like it's innate, that is natural, and it is the outcome of the milk. So this is another definition that we can find about Ghritam. It is Sarpir Mandastu Madura Saro Yoni Srota Sisira Sam Sulagno Basti Nasha Akchi Purane Supadishyate. So this talks about the Sarpir Mandustu. It's like a, it is kind of a mand. Mand means, like a starchy, like the scum of ghee. So it has got it. This sloka talks about how they are useful in different conditions, especially in the eye conditions and shula, and also for basti, nasya, and Akshipuran means, like we now say Netrabasti, like that. So it is so good. That's the second sloka also say the same. The first is from Sushruta and the second from Kayyab Dev Nigantu Dabbeguna. So what is womanhood? Now I want to bring these two things together. What is womanhood? So in womanhood, it may differ to every individual the way they understand. And when a woman is in her full phase of mm, life, she is pivot, right? And key of the family. That's what I feel, Uh, she can be radiant, charming, full of love and compassion. All these things are there with her. And especially when she is getting old, she is the full of storehouse of the wisdom. That's what I like to say. And so she is the one who really drive even the society. Now, get way to womanhood. This is very important when we are talking about womanhood. The woman's the health is very much concerned, and that has a lot to do with the menstruation. And menarche is the doorway for menstruation, and menstruation is the doorway and the key of the reproductive life of a woman. When Shweta and I was talking about, we talked a little bit when we are talking only about women. Maybe like there will be we will be a little biased with the male, the gender. So we thought that maybe we should talk a little bit about the other gender, the male also. So I'm trying for that. Okay. So a girl or a boy step in the new stage of life, phase of transition, that is puberty. And in a when it is a girl, they are called Kumari. And I brought this point over here because this is the time when they are very much confused. They are so confused because physically, anatomically, and physiologically, there is tremendous changes happening in their body, and because of that, like they get so confused, and they are very shy and introvert at that time. Because of that, they feel like nobody understands them, and like there is a gap of communication between parents and children, and this is the high time that parent has to really give support to the children, and that is so important. So this is the first time of like the although childhood is the first phase of life, but then this is the second phase where the emotional outbreaks are very common. Age of menarche is called said in Ayurveda is 12, and the different phases of a woman. I'm sorry, I don't have a different phases of male in such a detail, except like childhood, adulthood, and uh, um, adulthood and oldness. But here in in a woman's health, it is very much elaborated. So it is called Rajapati Kumari before menarche, and then Bala, Kanya, Mugda, Kumar. Some author also say Kumari also, and then Taruni after menarche, Taruni, Yuvati, Prauda, and Brinda. So there is a reference from Harit Samhita also. And I brought here 16 samskara of Manusmriti because in every samskaras, the ghee takes a vital role. And ghee is one of the essential part. And that samskara, there are 16 samskara, and the first samskara is Jata Karma samskara, and the last samskara is the death. In both of this, so it is, like ghee is essential even in the birth and even in the bed of the death. So that is the importance of the ghee, or that's the role of the ghee that in the human being. So there are many samskara which I don't want to talk right now. And here over we come as a classical um, quality of ghee. So Ayurveda properties of ghee are as follows. It is rasa, the taste, madhura, guna, like the attributes is guru, snigdha, and mridu. I think you understand this words. Madhura means sweet, and heavy, slimy, and soft. Virya seed, that is cold. Vipaka madhura, that is sweet again. And then karma, like Agni Deepana, Abhishandi, Anushya, Balya, Chakshisha, Rudya, and Kanti Prad, and then Tejo Bandha, Bata Pitta Prashamana, Bayasthapana, Bishahara, Brisha. Bishahara, something I would like to talk is ghee is also considered as the antidote. In many conditions, ghee is used as antidote. I would like to share a story with you all over here. In the beginning, when I started my practices very early in my 20s. So one day, one lady came with the, like the the case of poisoning. It is more, and it is like we don't know what poisoning it was. So but you could see it is like some minerals that she has taken. And so I was kind of shocked. I didn't know what to do. Like sometimes that's what happens. You do have knowledge, but you don't have the practice. And then I was like going here and there. And one of my staff over there, who is pretty old at the time, from the same community. So he asked, and why you are going here and there? I said, I'm trying to find out the medicine over here, and I'm not finding, like, getting it. So he said, why you should go about the medicine? It's very simple. You just use the ghee, Like I said, and then I'm like, ghee? That was like my first reaction. And he said, yeah, ghee is fine. So then my mind start working, like, yes, it is an antidote also. So then I use it, and then the interesting thing, immediately after like a half an hour, the whole swelling and everything, and the, like the sinuses, the blueness in the skin kind of slowly disappear so quickly. So this is something that I really always talk about, that is we have always antidote with us, around us, when we need and if we know. So I don't want to go about all these qualities again. It is same thing repeated, and the only thing I wanted to say over here, it also strengthens sukra, the dhatu, that is reproductive tissues, and also the ojas. So that is something I want to add over here. And it is also saying go grita is sarvottam rashayana. And the other thing I would like to mention over here, it has striking efficacy of crossing brain-blood barrier, which is a prime factor for treating mental anomalies. And he has been very much used in psychological and like mental diseases. And after the research, when they found ghee is good for the mental conditions, and ghee is the food for the brain, and that's how like it is like blooming now. So it is like ghee is also become a hot cake now all over the world. uh, I remember, Dr. Basantala say, ghee is, the brain is Ghrita, So the brain and the Shukra Dhatu, the, the semen, have the similar quality like the ghee. So it has been very much now talked about, and I'm happy that to know that the research has brought about all these things. Otherwise, there has been a time, like there were so much illusion about fat, especially about the ghee, like thinking about the cholesterol, and like kind of pushing back, and then avoiding taking ghee, and like like no ghee has been a big time it's like a 80s, 70s and 80s. And we all have, like faced one phases, especially in West, where no ghee and no salt was so much there. And because of that, there was a whole generation who faced the attention deficiency disease. I feel so. Now we all are back with ghee, so hopefully now another generation will not have to face that. So again, one more thing I would like to add over here, ghee is very good for dhi, dhriti and smriti, so retention of power, capacity, and increase the memory. It's very good. But more than that, I want to talk about is here about the jata karma, right after the birth. the first thing, the first samskara is done is jata karma. In that jata karma, the greed and honey, uh, greed and rock salt and honey is mixed and given in the dose of a palm, like as much as the palm of the baby can hold as a linctus, and it is given to the child. And that is the first jata karma, and that is the first immunization. Immunization, because giving you the introducing the baby all sorts of whole grains from honey and all sorts of the protein and fat from ghee. So ghee has a lipophilic. Has a lipophilic nature of ghee, helps entry of formulation into the cell and its delivery to the mitochondrium, microsome, and nuclear membrane. So that's why it is so good in the mental conditions. And also, like when it is mixed with the herbs and the medicines, it it becomes very effective. And it is said that more than 96% of ghee is digested when it is, and all the medicine that is taken as a vehicle of ghee, it becomes 96% absorbed. And beside that, like it is very good, because it breaks the brain barrier also. So that's where, like it is it goes, every single molecule along with the medicate, along with the herbs, will be taken deep inside the body. And this is how, as a medicine or a vehicle, it works in the by the ghee. And that's why ghee is considered in Ayurveda the yoga bahi. When it is mixed with the subject, it takes the quality of that. The antioxidant properties of ghee help. The antioxidant properties of ghee help to the forestall neurological disease and increase SDL level of blood and reduce LDL level of the blood. So this is all, like again, like this I have brought over here is like from the research, it has been proved. And more than that, like it used to be talk about bad because of the cholesterol level. Now it has been said that instead it is good because it increases the good cholesterol, and also because of the butyric acid, like which modulate plays the modulator of gene functions and helps in the as anti-cancerous activity. It promotes the anti-cancer activities. So that's why it is also considered now as one of the good food or a vehicle or a medicine as an anti-cancer also by the research. Okay. So Grito, oh God. Grito Siratila Chaudra Minanga Chira Gomai Amula Skanda Leptanam Sankramana Viropanam. This sloka I brought because it's so interesting, like I said in the beginning, I am still learning, and this is what I really learned here. And it is say like 3 can be taken to other countries, and 3 they're grafted on the others if they are smeared from root to the stem with ghee, andropogon, and sesamum, honey, vinegar, milk, and cow dung. Isn't that great to know that, like how the ghee helps, like the spanning of the life of a plant, and also protect from the getting infected or getting, like the get the different types of the fungus or so much. So it prevents that. So this knowledge is there, and it is wonderful. So this is the just I know you all know about those things. I don't want to talk about this thing. This is just like 1 gram of Greek contains this much 9.3 calories and all these chemical compositions. This is just little. There are much more. They are all there in there. The main thing over here is this is the one of the most amazing medium for vitamin A, D, E, K as a fat soluble. Uh, so they are carried inside the body. Without fat, it cannot be the dissolved and get by the body. This is why, like, and then the permeability of the fat is so high. So because of that, it can the body can take it easily. Now I brought this. So the Shukra means like the semen. Uh, the the characteristic of Shuddha Shukra is uh, like Spatikam, Dravam, Snigdam, Maduram, Madhura Gandicha. And there are so many other, I don't want to go the whole. Means ghee has a similar quality of that. That's why it is said that if you take ghee, the Shukra Ratu, the semen will immediately kind of start uh, getting in the body. Means the body will start producing the shukra. It doesn't have to go all through the channel of the digestion, metabolism, and all those paths. So it bypasses all the law of nutrition, and because of the prabhava, it directly nourishes the shukra dhatu, and then it has got the similar quality of the ghee. The cow ghee, which has been kept for 10 years, is called Puranakrita, and 100 years is called Kumbhasarpi. That's why there is a very much uh, uh, trend is there to preserve or to store the ghee for years and years. And that's another thing, like nowadays we have the problem with the date expiry, and Ayurveda says there is no expiry for ghritam and honey. So it's interesting, it's a challenge. But it is true, and then uh, the more is the ghee older, the better is the ghee in the neurological disorders, and especially in the epilepsy, so. And it also talks about mahagrita, like which is 100 years or more than 100 years is apatyam moolam naryam. Now I want to go a little bit more about women's conditions, and a woman is the main cause behind the procreation. We all know that. So here I brought this one because this is from an article, a research article that I brought. Uh, and it says that, like when we are talking about a woman's the specialty, one of the specialty is the fertility and procreation. So he plays a very important role over here. And preconception care has also been described at 3 levels: biological or physical level, psychological level, and at the level of consciousness. And he plays the role over there. And preconception care of Garbhadhan Bidi has been described. And in Garbhadhan Bidi, we go through the Panchakarma, we go through the and ghee as a diet with the khichdi, and there is a whole detail is there. We don't want to go. I just brought here preconception care of Garbhadhan Bidi has been described and where the ghee is used. I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit blocked. So the next is I just brought this one again. All the Brihatroy, the Maharshi Charak, Susrut, and Bhagwan, they all have talked about greed as a main food during the pregnancy. And you see, like in the first month, in the second month, third month, fourth month, fifth month, and except in the fourth month, And in the 6th, 7th, and 8th month also, Ghee is used, but not in the 9th month. 9th month is more with the oil. So you see how much Ghee play the vital role during the pregnancy, and it is one of the most nourishing food for a mother at that time. And it nourishes not only the mother, the child also, the like the baby inside the womb also. So this is what I just wanted to show in a very brief, and I will go a little bit more in detail. So Garbhini Paricharya means antenatal care. So we talked about in the first trimester, it is more with the ghee, but it is more with the milk. And ghee started from the 2nd month and 3rd month. And in the 2nd trimester, ghee is used a lot along with the other food, and goat chutti is given over there uh, for the prevention of the swelling. And Astame Chira Evagum Sarpisam means in 8th month, the Evagu means there's a kind of a soup is made of the ghee is specially given over there. So this is also highlighted over here. And then in the 3rd trimester, that is 8th month, after the 7th month, so Greta Pratikyanigana is the ghee which is mixed with the Pratikyanigana's herbs, especially, like the Yastimadu and all other herbs are there. They are mixed, and then it is given after the 7th month. And that is also used for Astapan Basti and the Pichu also as a tampon. Now, the aim of the antenatal care, we also know, to protect the pregnancy from the complications, and also to have a full growth of the growth and development of the fetus and the mother, and then the uh, each childbirth. So I don't want to go with this. Ayurveda practices recommend as the first thing a new mother should consume after giving birth. This is something, again, like in the sacred window, the postpartum is also considered as a sacred window. And thank you to yes, yes, or like Martha Oaks, who has worked so much in the sacred woman's part with the postpartum. And sacred window, the postpartum is time to take golden ghee. This is, and during the postpartum, ghee is the main food. Like I have seen many women, like is given the ghee, like even the rice is, like if you take a spoon of rice, the ghee will be, like a dropping from that spoon. That much ghee is given because she needs to replenish the tissue. She need the like support the whole system, and also heal. Like there is so much laceration, so much trauma, physical, emotional traumas, and physiological traumas are there, has to be healed. And ghee works at all those levels, so it is very good nutritional, medicinal effect during the postpartum. That's why ghee is one of the main food right after the childbirth till the whole phase of the postpartum. Now I brought this part. This is more popular in Nepal. This is a very special dish, or I will say a dessert for the new mother, given as a snacks, and it is made, you see all the nuts and all, it has got gum resin, and molasses to nourishes and to replenish the tissue, especially the blood loss, to address the blood loss. But beside that, there is also the resin which helps in tonifying the uterine muscles, and they are you see the ghee over here, this is all ghee, and it is cooked in ghee in such a way that like it can be kept for months and months, and she enjoys this every day, a spoon, and this really helps to uh, nourishes and replenish her. This is from research. The postpartum diet therapy have shown positive effect on maternal health as well as on the health of a newborn, as bioactive principle passes from mother to baby through lactation. This is something I really wanted to bring, is because there was a time even the new mother didn't want it to get the ghee, thinking that they will get the weight and the issue of the uh, cholesterol has made like no ghee, so I think now we have to start thinking differently. So I brought this Jatakarma, and Swarna Prashana is becoming very popular nowadays, and it is considered as one of uh, uh, the like substituting to the vaccination. So it is like immunization. So this is very much done now in India and Nepal for children. But Jata Samskara, we already talked about that, where ghee becomes the first food for the newborn, and it is done with the fire ceremony. So it is from the Yagyabalkya, Brihadanyak Upanishad. So we don't want to go. Nature's food is, after the ghee, nature's food, the best food is the mother's milk to the baby. And now perimenopause, menopause, andropause, and beyond, lifestyle management, charya, paricharya. This is what I am going to talk a little bit. Uh, we talked a little bit more in the beginning about um, the menarche and teenage. And after teenage, a woman enters into the adult age, where that age is the phase of pitta, and the early phase, that before the pitta is the kapha phase. And in teenage, it is like a transition time where pitta slow, kapha slowly entering to the pitta. And now same thing happens in perimenopause also. So slowly the woman from pitta to vata, they are slowly entering. And this is another very similar phase of a woman's life, like the time of the adolescence or puberty, where there is a lot of confusion happens. Here also, the hormone starts shifting. The thyroid also starts getting very much disturbed. The whole cascades of the hormones becomes very much disturbed. Because of that, she gets confused. And on the top of that, when she gets the menopausal syndromes, and that makes her so confused, so inconvenient, and so, like discomfort. And this is time she really needs the support, and uh, she needs a lot of emotional and mental support. And this is very high time to be taken care. And if we see, like this, from the astrological point of view, after 40, 42, 44, 52, 58, and all the eight numbers are considered like a risky time. And if you see, if you be a little bit watchful, these are the time many people lose their life from many diseases or whatever. But this is one of the fact that I have noticed. And this is how, for after 40, like depends upon the region and depends upon the diet, the lifestyle, the menopause and perimenopause starting. So even in Nepal now, perimenopause starts after 40. It used to be after 35 in Nepal, but now it is postponed. So anyway, perimenopause is the most confusing time, and slowly when she understands what's going on in her body, and that's where the menopause, when the menstruation kind of ceases, and this is the time again, like she has a lot of changes in her body, and she becomes very, very emotional at that time, and people don't understand, because why she is so emotional, but it is her physical and physiological uh, expression, and also asking the need of support, like I think we should understand about that. And this is the time she needs to stabilize, like because the cortisol level is stabilized from the ghee, and ghee is one of the good food, but this is because she is also entering to the Vata phase. So it is good to take the ghee, but remembering not too much, because the digestion is also now slowly getting low. And same to the andropause also, it happens to the male also, andropause also. They are also equally and kind of getting a lot of symptoms with along with, like the condition of uh, the the prostate and other conditions, neurological conditions, and or other physical conditions. So they are also really looking for support. So this is high time we need to support. And then my saying is ghee can be stabilizing, like the stress hormones to in this phase. And also lifestyle management, charya paricharya means, like when we say lifestyle, dinacharya and ritu charya, like a seasonal charya. And then it's very good along with the other, like garvini paricharya, and then sutika paricharya. All these charya and paricharyas are advocated and prescribed by the great saints of Ayurveda to maintain health of a healthy person, right? Uh, this is a preventive aspects of Ayurveda. So it is very important that again, like we have to be more wise and thoughtful to say yes to ghee and no, no to not to ghee. This is at different stages of life. So I brought this three point, and I want to talk a little bit about this and my experiences about that I have experienced the effectiveness of the ghee. So infertility. When I started my treatment, I got a few cases of the infertility, and that is because of the blockage of the fallopian tube. The tubes, the uterine tube is blocked, and that's where I was kind of trying to find what will be, like the uh, a good access for it. And I remember my practice in when I was doing my MD in BHU, and I did the Uttara Basti. Uttara Basti is something that it's a little bit surgical procedure, and I took Trifalagritam. Trifalagrit. I didn't have the Falagrit. Falagrit is prescribed, but I didn't have the Falagrit. So I tried with Trifalagrit, and then I did that, inserted this Trifalagrit in the uterus through the all procedures. And to my surprise, amazingly, uh, this woman got pregnant, and at the age of 42. Means in Nepal 42 is delayed, and that is the first pregnancy. So we were really, really thrilled, at that time, like, wow, something happened which is not we were expecting. And then I started doing this again to others also, and I had a good result with that. and I did for a few more. So I will say I had more than 60% success in the infertility with using the ghee as an Uttarbasti. Nowadays, I don't do this because of too much uh, 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 procedures that is more surgical, and there is a lot of risk also. But yeah, I want to say, like even in the difficult conditions of infertility, ghee helped me to get a good result. And then threatened pregnancy is another. We also can say it as, in the conditions where there is already previous miscarriages, and then and even this pregnancy when a mother is having the spotting and blood, so there is a threat of miscarriage. In such conditions also ghee is used very much. And here in Ayurveda they say use the ghee which is called AyurGhritam. AyurGhritam means ghee that is washed 100 times. Uh, and if it is given the tampon in a silken uh, linen, and it stops the bleeding. Uh, so I did that, I did that, and it really helped. It really helped in many cases. I didn't have many cases, but I have few cases and I got wonderful result. So in threatened pregnancy, I did the ghee tampon. Say also the bleeding disorders of both gender I have said, but here my first experience is, like in menorrhagia, in different types of bleeding disorders of a woman, when there is the bleeding is so huge, profuse, and if doesn't help with the hormonal treatment also. So I tried with this also, and it really helped in some of the cases. Nowadays people are so afraid to practice, and uh, uh, the to wait to treat by such things again makes this practice is a little bit difficult, but the result is tremendous, I have to say. Again, and in both conditions I use the Satadhauta grit, means the grit that has been washed 100 times, and we did ourselves, me and my staff, we did that, and we know how it is effective. And beside that also, in all the burning conditions of the especially in anal area, and where, like the fissures are there, or the wounds, when there is a very burning conditions is there, burning sensation is there, this ghee is very much used, Satadaut green. There are two types of ghee mentioned in Satadaut and Sahasradaut by the Charak also, and this is very much useful. So I want to say one thing more is, nowadays I have seen, like marketing a lot by using the Satadaut grit as a topical cream, uh, and I don't want to I don't want to give any remark, but I'm a little bit concerned about the cooling quality of that Satadaut grit, how far it will be really helpful. But yeah, the molecules of the fat is so less over there, because of that it it doesn't leave the, that sliminess, that greasiness, and it is but it is easily uh, absorbed in the all layers, 7 layers of the skin. That's why they are using. So it's totally on them. Okay. So this is about the bleeding disorders. The Satadhauta grit can be used in other conditions where there are such bleeding disorders in male, or and mostly topical is used. Satadhauta grit is not really used orally much, but it can be used also. Sarira janam doshanam kramena parmausadam bastir bireko bamanam tatha tailam gritam madhu. So even basti, viration, and bamana, the gritam is used, and this is one of the main ingredients for the panchakarma. Now, this is another article that research article I got. I just brought it for the reference only, and this is done in the psychological condition, psychological condition, yes. And the only thing I want to highlight over here is I have already talked about Smriti Burdak, and it is good for Unmana, Apasmara, Murcha, and Mada, means all mental disorders like um, um, epilepsy and syncope, and like even also the I am not getting the real word for Urmana, like it's like a psychological disorder, like a schizophrenia and all those conditions. And also the fat permeable membranes, like in the brain, it has the similar quality of like a brain. So that's why the brain takes it very easily. It is also advised anxiety, depression, dementia, insanity. Yes, insanity is Unmana. So, and disorder of the consciousness. This is what I really wanted to share with you. And now there are few Ghritam, that medicated Ghritam that I want to share with you all. So this is Triphala-Ghritam. Triphala-Ghritam is mainly used for eye disorders, but like I said, I use it for the infertility for the Uttarvasti, and this is from my Ratnavali. And then this is a Phalagrita. This is mainly used for gynecological disorders and mainly for the infertility. So Phalagrita. And then we have Panchagabya Grita. Panchagabya Grita is mainly used for the mental disorders, and it is mainly talked by Charaka. And then Satavarayadi Ghitam. This is another thing, like we were talking about the menopause, perimenopause, especially menopause and beyond menopause. The woman's vagina becomes very dry, and it becomes, like sometimes it's itchy and cracky, very painful sometimes, especially, like because of that, there will be low libido, and the sexual activities, it becomes very painful. And because of this is one of the reason of the uh, uh, um, breaking down of the family, or I will say the divorce in many countries. So Satavari Grit is very good. You can eat, you can or take orally as well as use, but like mainly using in the as a tampon, or just applying in the uh, vagina very gently. It really helps to keep it moist and bring a little bit more of the lubrications and make everything ease. And Esteemadugrit, it also has the same, it also does the same thing. Like we know Satavari and Esteemadu both has got the effect of the, like the Esteemadu has got more progesterone, and is Satavari has got the estrogen precursors, and because of that, they do have that quality. They don't directly increases the sex hormones, but they do have that supporting effect. And like I said, Satadauta Ghritam was prepared, Satadauta is prepared by washing it. And then both Charak and Asang Sangra has mentioned about it. And I also already mentioned in reference to the threatened pregnancy, it is mostly talked by both of the rishis. So with all this, I am coming in, and I'm thinking if you have any questions, I will be happy to take. Thank you so much. I hope uh, I'm able to give uh, some of the new things that you wanted to know. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sarita ji, for just sharing your experiences and your clinical experiences and the knowledge itself. I was wondering, Ghee is such it's really a lifelong companion, with the focus of this talk was is the grace of Ghee, throughout all the life transitions, right, of various the different transitional periods, etc. I was wondering what practically, like what guidance would you give to people on how to judiciously use Ghee during these transitions? Because yes, Ghee is this golden elixir, but at the same time, we know that it has to be properly digested. And as we age, naturally, the minute that we are born, we are dying, really. There's cell death happening. And so as the Agni dwindles in different ways, what are some practical things that a normal person, we have a lot of folks on the call today and also viewers who will be watching the recording that are not Ayurvedic practitioners. And so what should, in your opinion, as a self-healing kind of awareness, like what should people be careful about when using Ghee, especially as we all age?
Okay, thank you. Uh, Thank you for this question bringing up, because I really wanted to say a few things about contraindications of the ghee also. Generally, like there are people in Ayurveda, there is a word called Bridu Kosta. And so in the Bridu Kosta, the people who have the intolerance to ghee, they cannot digest the ghee. So people who has lactose intolerance, generally it is said that ghee doesn't have the lactose that we get in the milk. But still there are people, so according to the Ayurveda, there are people who cannot tolerate ghee. And for those people, it is said that's the ghee is given with the digestive herbs, and including the, like also the turmeric also. But basically digestive, for the digestive herbs like the uh, uh, ginger is given, and also a pinch of black pepper. So few slices of ginger, pinch of black pepper with the pinch of salt will help to digest. But I have found in my practice, even with this, many people cannot digest the ghee. And in that case, I will say, like a bit by bit, you know, uh, you cannot force people who cannot tolerate the ghee or any other food. So in that condition, it's like a giving spoon by spoon. Now, ghee is, even spoon is enough for someone to have a loose bowel, right? So in that case, you have to start with cooking food with very little ghee, very little, like just few drops. Make sense? And slowly, like after 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, when you cook with ghee, slowly, you will be able to increase the amount of ghee in cooking, not taking directly, okay? So this is one thing. So not taking ghee directly is one thing that we can do. If you are really taking directly, I think I will not suggest for those people who cannot digest. And uh, and another thing is, in our day-to-day life, how we can get ghee is Very important, because it has all these good qualities. But if you cannot get it, then it doesn't make any difference. And if you cannot digest, again, it doesn't make any difference. So in that case, like I said, cooking is one better. And second thing is like getting with a little bit, little by little, again, wheat in the form of tea or in the form of the medicine. So when I am saying about the herbal preparations, right? Medicine means herbal preparations. So the herbal preparation we can get in difference, like a Triphala Griti is there, Satavariyadi Griti is there, Yastimaju Griti is. These are the Grit that we can take. But as such a ghee, I will say take very little, 1 teaspoonful if you can digest. If you cannot digest, less than 1 teaspoonful. And in Ayurvedas, it is said that if you have a krur koshta, means if your alimentary system is like a very rude, or like Creole, it's too dry, and that content you can get as much as you want. I have a very interesting story if you want to listen. I had a case of a man who is very vata in nature, prakriti person. So he came with a chronic constipation. He has a constipation for 17 years, and he has done everything in his life. He has done everything in his life, including uh, the enema and a little bit surgical procedures also. So finally, he came to me when he was doing enema every day. So, and very stubborn guy, very stubborn guy. So I didn't know what to do with, because he came to me as a friend of my teacher. So he was like, want to rule on me. So I didn't know how to deal this guy. So I said, like if you want to get treatment from me, forget about who is my teacher. I don't know him, because I have to be that rude with him. So then I said, you will follow what I will do. In that case only, I will treat you. And I knew that this is the case of Krur Krosta, right? So I gave first series with the Taila Basti. And then after that, I said, now, and I saw, his elementary canal started working properly. And I said, now you can go back to because he comes from another far place. So now you can go back, but you will take ghee every day. So this old guy jumped, because somebody has told him that don't take ghee. And he has a whole farm of ghee in his house. So he was missing ghee throughout his life. And when I said, you take ghee, like, can I take ghee? I said, of course, you are going to take ghee all your life now. So he was jumping. And then I said, but you will take it with the medicine. And I gave him ghee with Abhipatikar. And it's very interesting, like the ghee is never given with Abhipatikar. This is something like I broke the rules. And there is a big, rumor on the whole Ayurveda fraternity. Dr. Sarita has given Abhipatikar with ghee. I said, I don't care, because this is working to this man, and this is my research. So this is an example. So ghee can be as good as for someone, and he can make just 1 teaspoon will make a person go and go and go. So both conditions are there. So with your questions, I will say experience. You have to experience by yourself. That is the best way, because you are the doctor of yours. No one can tell you like do this. And we are not talking about the Western medicine. Like this dose is perfect for you. Ayurveda doesn't say that. Every individual is different, and your need is different. Your bodily need is different. So your ghee is also needed differently. How much? Yeah, sometimes you may need it topically, and sometimes you may need internally. So depending upon, so I will say take bit by bit if you are allergic. And if you are not allergic, the dose is 1 teaspoon to 1 tablespoonful at a time. So I will again say, don't exceed more than 2 tablespoons a day if you're taking for a long time. Okay. That much I would like to say, because ghee is guru, means heavy, and it does has the kapha quality. Along with it has also avishanda, means it blockages the channels or the srotas also if it is taken in excess, and if it is the kapha is elevated. So we have to keep that thing in mind.
Great. Thank you so much. And of course, everybody who's listening, please connect with your Ayurvedic practitioner for deeper assessment for your realities and conditions. It is getting late, so please, if you have a question or comment for Dr. Sarita, feel free to unmute yourself. And if you do not want to voice it, feel free to chat it in, and I'm happy to voice it for you. So any questions?
Does it look like any questions there?
Wait for a few more. Any other last call? Okay. So Dr. Sarita has, we do have, let's see. So what are the lumps in ghee?
What is the lumps? Looks like that granules?
I believe that's what, yes, she says.
Okay. Oh, that granules, sometimes when it is kind of not completely uh, uh, heated, that granules will be there. So even with the water particles that is mixed over there is there. So if it is completely kind of with the proper process, if it is completely heated, I think it would be there.
Okay, great. Dr. Bashwati, you have your hand raised. Do you want to unmute yourself or unvideo yourself?
Yeah, I won't unvideo myself, but I have a question. But before that, did you just say hi, Sarita? How are you?
Hello, Masati. Hello, Diane. I know so many people. Hello.
I gave you a hug last month at the World Ayurveda Congress.
I searched you so much over there. Afterwards, I didn't get you.
Yeah. So you just said to the last question that the lumps, if you heat the ghee properly, did you say it will not be there? It will be there. It should not be there, right? If you heat it and make it properly, all the water should be gone. So there should not be, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is
Okay.
the way.
Okay, I heard that correctly. So my question is about diabetes people. So many patients come and they say, well, I have diabetes. Am I allowed to take ghee? Because this idea of snehana, swedana, and diabetes, so can you talk about people with diabetes taking ghee 1 teaspoon every day, or how to teach them?
Yeah, again, diabetic, there are two types of diabetic. If it is a kapha diabetic or a vata diabetic, right? If it is a vata diabetic, the person can take 1 teaspoon of ghee every day. Now, there is no vata diabetic or pitta diabetic according to the Western pattern, So we have to read the prakriti. So people who have a good koshta, who has good digestion, metabolism, they can take 1 teaspoonful. There is no problem. But if someone is already kapha type of personality, who is a kapha diabetic, like a kapha madhumeha, in that condition, we have to be careful. So we should be either mixing, like cinnamon, trikatu, trikatu, right? Trikatu and cinnamon will help to digest. And beside that, uh, cut down the doses is better in that condition, because ghee, like again, ghee is enhancing the kapha qualities, and we don't want to overload the kidney also. So that is very important to be kept in mind. So I will say cut down the amount of ghee if in a daily practice. If it is for a medicational purpose, then like for a short time, he or she can have 1 teaspoon of ghee, and then again, like after withdrawing, starting as a regular practice, half teaspoon morning
Okay.
and evening, a
Thank.
total 1 teaspoon of ghee a day.
What I do is I give a Kafaja diabetes person the ghee, 1 teaspoon, but I also make sure they get swedana. So I either have them do a lot of exercise, those 5 days a month, just have 1 teaspoon of ghee, because what I'm trying to do is get rid of their low quality kapha, their kleda, or their what we'll call bad kapha in English. And so I give them 5 days of ghee, and I say on those 5 days you have to sweat. So you have to go walking or bicycling or a lot of exercise, or at least go into a sauna, and make sure you sweat so that they take in the ghee and they get rid of the, you can say, the sweat is taking out some of their mala kapha. So
Perfect.
yeah,
That's
so I'm trying to do that, but then someone said, no, you can't give ghee with diabetic patients. So thank you for
That's
clarifying.
all ingredients we have to, like cut down. Yeah, if you work out, if you do the exercise, that's what it is very important. We have to burn out. That is very, what you take, it should be burned out also. Means that it should be digested, metabolism, and absorbed. That's very important to be understood. And if you can burn out that much amount, it is fine.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Yeah, me too.
Great. Dr. Sarita, so we these Glory of Ghee knowledge circles hosted by Mahagi, they are free, but and of course the presenters and Vedas and experts also do not get, and they're also offering this as a service. So Dr. Sarita, if you want to share a little bit about your Devi Ma project, and so folks can maybe send some of any donation that they desire. I have chatted the information into the chat box, but if you want to speak a little bit more about the project.
Thank you. So Devima Kuja is an organization, non-profit organization I started, thinking that I can create a serene place where people can, come and get healed through Ayurveda, is what I thought. And one of the thing also is that I started the rural hospital also, where we have done 10 childbirth, and after the policy of the government changed, we have to stop that. So we are in a very much in state of transition now, because there is so much law and rules are there. So we are not sure that we'll continue or not continue the rural hospital part. But the initially why I started that is like when I saw like that the cruelty, that the rudeness that happens in the birthing room, like I don't know how, whether it happens in other part of the world, but where I have studied or where I have done my practices, when I saw that, I felt like very bad. And like that's the time I said, if I start birthing, I'll never make it happen. So it should be more a place where the love and compassion is there, and a woman will have more, like feeling of comfortable and ease. That was my aim, so that's how I started all these things. So maybe my initially started with that aim, and we have run almost like 18 years with all these things. And after COVID, things had get slowed down. So we are very much kind of down right now. And also, I am not, like traveling, and I am not also doing much work because of that. Financially, also, it's getting very down. So yeah, I'm waiting to revive it in a full phase, hopefully. So I'm happy that I am still working on, and I will be till I can. It is there because Devi Maya is my dream, and Devi Maya is also my passion. So I think it keeps me going on. So that's it, I will say.
Yeah, thank you so much for your persistence. So needed, and we can use the amazing technology that we have um, to connect and support a lot of amazing projects around the world. There is not a website yet, so that's why the bank details are posted in the chat box. So feel free to copy paste it into your notes. And also it'll be added to the follow-up email that goes out with the recording. So yeah, so thank
Yeah,
you for all your efforts, Dr. Sarita.
thank you.
Um,
Can I, yeah, a little bit?
yeah,
Yeah, well, we used to work when I was coming to USA. We have a sister organization, Growing Age, and they used to take care of everything. And we had a website and everything. But now, like I said, after the COVID, everything kind of fell down over there also and here also. And so we have to stop. So we have closed down everything, in fact, with the email and everything. Sorry, with the website and everything. So we don't have right now. So sorry.
okay, great, thank you. Knuckle, did you quickly want to share about Mahagi's holiday offer?
Let me unmute myself. Thanks, Sarita ji. Thanks, Shweta. Thank you all for making this ghee with us today. Different sort of Mahagi. Just a quick one for those who are with us today. For any orders placed online until the next full moon, which is 6th of Jan, we'll ship a complimentary copy of a cookbook that we've co-produced. Chitra, who's made this cookbook, she's on this call. You can see her, Chitra Lekha Martin. And it's a beautiful book to gift or use for yourself. So we'll ship that along with any orders placed on our website. I'm a little technologically challenged, so I'm trying to find out where here. Well, no, that's not the one. But that's it, and you can visit our website, and we will and use the great gift of the GGG9 code to avail of free shipping and also this cookbook. I'm sorry, I'm trying to share a different screen here.
Oh, good. I think we can include the
Yeah,
information
yeah.
in the follow-up email.
Yeah,
well.
it's in the chat box.
Yes, and it's in the chat box.
It
Thank
is,
you.
yes.
Just a few other happenings for within our Ayurveda and ancient wisdom circles. Ayurveda for Women is another series I facilitate with Dr. Sumit Kesarkar, which is bi-weekly. We have one coming up on emotional healing on January 1st. Great way to kick off the new year. And Dr. Sumit's very unique perspectives on and decoding a lot of these Ayurvedic algorithms in a very practical and applicable manner. So the links are there in the box. And also on January 15th, his amazing research on whiskey single malts and how we can decode that and the Rasa Virya Vipak, on how it can be used for women's healing and health in different ways. So that's January 15th, and you'll find the link in there. It's quite very expansive research, and really pushing the boundaries. I think that's what we need in the Ayurveda world, is really applying some of these Ayurvedic algorithms and principles and applying it in a very expensive, creative manner. Also, there is a huge international gathering in October 2023 of all the different Ayurveda consortiums that are forming regionally to really uphold Ayurvedic clinical study and practice here in the US, which is quite being, lack of a better word, bastardized in very different ways. And so there will be a larger there is no website yet link, but it is happening in October 2023 in Orlando, Florida. So, stay tuned of course, we'll be sharing that at other knowledge circles here as more information is available. But just to give, to plant some seeds and give people a heads up, as folks here on the call are quite dedicated seekers of Ayurveda and other ancient wisdoms. And the next knowledge circle will be in the spring. And so stay tuned for that in our watch out for emails or on the social media platforms for that. Not sure if I think we have everything. Any closing comments? Once again, Dr. Sarita, thank you so much for being with us and sharing your knowledge so generously with us. And we hope you feel better. And did you have any closing comments, Dr. Sarita?
I'm happy that you brought up this issue, because I really was thinking there has been so much illusion about ghee, and people needed to know about that this is not the fact. It's this illusion. It is illusion. Although there are the conditions that we have to also address where people cannot get, but it doesn't mean that this is a bad food, and now thanks to all those resources which has kind of declared that it is no more bad, but I think we still need to bring this fact to the bigger size of the people, because that where it is very much deep in, it takes time to get out from there. So thank you for bringing this topic. This is one thing that's the one thing that I accepted also, because like I said, I got chance to learn as well, but it was in my mind that no, this is not good. It has to be spoke out. We have to speak out.
Yeah.
Diane, something to say? No?
Listening, yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was inspired by listening to you, that when I work with these new mothers that have not tasted ghee ever, and I'm saying that this is something you need to do, I had the idea listening to you that I could say, did you have milk from your mother when you were an infant? Because isn't ghee something like the next thing to mother's milk?
Yeah.
The next best thing. So in terms, you could introduce the ghee as if, like, if you had milk from your mother, your baby, you can also have the ghee now, because I kind of see them together as that golden, essence. So
Yeah,
it's a little crazy, but somehow it came out.
at the same time, it is also true that you had a very wonderful way of saying, but at the same time, it is also true. Most of the people are already taking ghee, like the butter and cheese, they accept butter and cheese, and they are like they freak out with the ghee. This is very nonsense. I will say
Yeah.
nonsense.
Well, sometimes I have what they only want almond milk. They're afraid of the other milk, the cow part.
No, this
Right.
is very much over there. The chips are there with fitted, with the knowledges of the
Yeah.
all the
Yeah. Brainwashing.
brainwashing from the all the knowledge that the corporate society or will, that's how they are feeding you. And this is also very very like you have cheese once a day, like which is almost like more than a half cup of ghee, right?
Yeah.
That in and you are not concerned about health, and you are afraid of 1 teaspoon of ghee.
Mhm.
Very interesting,
Yeah,
So we
that's good.
have to say that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. It made my year.
Okay, thank you all. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Dr. Bashwati, for putting those links in as well. So wonderful. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful
Thank you.
rest of the year. Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy
Yeah,
New
to
Year.
all.
Thank you, Dr. Sarita. Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.